Plenty of things can go too far. Just look at how much pepperoni is on this pizza. In that regard, roller coasters are no different. Ride manufacturers often try to reach new levels of thrills, doing things that nobody else has done before, but it's this exact ambition that can lead to big problems. Today on Theme Park Crazy, we're diving into the stories of roller coasters that went too far as ranked by the viewers. Now, these roller coasters are known for trying new things and not having the best results, but you can get the best results by checking out this video's sponsor, Raycon. You may have heard of these wireless earbuds before, but I gotta say, they definitely live up to the hype. Let's talk design. These earbuds are sleek, as is the protective case. Both have a variety of mix and match color options that really stand out. Like these blue earbuds with this limited edition yellow sunset case, perfect for fans of Goliath. Not only do they look great, but they have some awesome practical features too. For example, these earbuds have noise cancellation. This feature is perfect for long flights, household chores, or working out at the gym. Whether I'm dusting the microwave or on the treadmill, I can still listen to Elto Orion talk about block zones loud and clear. This feature is usually hard to find at a decent price, but Raycon makes it much more affordable. Not only that, but with a 32-hour battery life, you're set for long listening sessions. Believe it or not, just 10 minutes of charging gives you up to 90 minutes of playtime. Moreover, their multi-point connectivity feature allows you to pair them with 2 devices at once. They're waterproof, sweat-resistant, ergonomic, and comfortable, perfect for all sorts of travel. Plus, the tap functions make it super easy to control your music and your calls on the go. The holiday season is right around the corner, and along with it, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. While these days are known for incredible deals on high-quality electronics, Raycon offers fantastic value all year round, and right now they're going above and beyond with up to 30% off site-wide for you, my viewers. It's time to save big for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Go to buyraycon.com/themeparkcrazy today to get up to 30% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 30% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/themeparkcrazy. By placing your order, you aren't just supporting the channel, you're getting an awesome deal on one of the best audio experiences out there. Special thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Number 10. The Sky Plaza Comet at South Korea's Sky Plaza. Following the massive success of Lotte World in Seoul, the Lotte Corporation aimed to dazzle Busan by opening another park inside of a department store. The intended star of the show was a bold new roller coaster designed by Swiss manufacturer Intamin. This coaster, known as the Sky Plaza Comet, was known as a spiral coaster. This model was a type of pipeline coaster which sat passengers between the tracks rather than above. The layout itself was quite short, consisting of 2 heartline rolls and 2 diving turns according to RCDB.com. It was a small but interesting design that wrapped around the perimeter of the area. Due to its small size, the ride required drive tires to pull riders through its heartline rolls. Yet the true problem wasn't the coaster's need for these tires, it was the effect it had on the building's integrity. Positioned on the top floor of a busy department store, the Sky Plaza Comet caused intense vibrations that reportedly rattled the building's structure. After the recent Sampoon department store collapse, the public was especially sensitive to the idea of a building falling apart. During the testing phase, these vibrations reportedly led to panic and evacuation among shoppers on the 9th floor. Putting a coaster on the top floor of a building does seem like a cool idea, but planners didn't account for how it would affect the shopper's experience. So despite testing with select riders, it never actually opened to the public. There was an attempt to relocate the coaster to Kuwait, but it's unknown if it ever operated there either, and it was ultimately scrapped. Number 9. Lightning Rod at Tennessee's Dollywood. This is a classic example of ambition taken to thrilling but problematic levels. When Dollywood's owners Herschend Entertainment approached Rocky Mountain Construction with the idea of a launched wooden coaster, they wanted to go all out on it. RMC initially suggested a high-speed cable lift with their steel track. However, park officials were interested in a high-powered LSM launch and their wooden topper track. This was so they could claim the milestone of having the world's first launched wooden coaster. This launch would blast riders uphill at 45 miles per hour, something no one had attempted on a wooden coaster before. This bold feature, however, became a constant source of technical headaches. The launch system, made by a company who had never done launch systems before, struggled to operate reliably. Not only would it overheat, but the sway of the wooden structure caused the trains to be misaligned with the launch fins. This misalignment canceled out the launch and caused the trains to roll back. Despite attempts to refine the launch, lighten the trains, and adjust the track to mostly steel, Dollywood found itself pouring excessive time and resources into managing the upkeep. Eventually, after the 2023 season, the park opted for a solution that more closely aligned with what RMC had originally suggested. This solution would come in the form of a high-speed chain lift. This highly disappointed fans of the ambitious launch, but still, it was said to lead to more reliable operations. Many have argued that despite losing its milestone, Dollywood made the right decision, and the renewed reliability will greatly improve guest satisfaction, so it's a win overall. Number 8. The Screaming Squirrel model by American manufacturer S&S Sansei, then known as S&S Worldwide. Few coaster designs have sparked more confusion than the Screamin' Squirrel. This particular coaster model, inspired by the popular Wild Mouse ride, took the concept of sharp turns and flipped it, quite literally, on its side. Instead of the quick lateral switchbacks of the traditional Wild Mouse, the Screamin' Squirrel forced riders through sharp, upside-down maneuvers known as saxophones. Yes, saxophones. These inversions hung passengers upside down for extended periods of time before snapping them upright again. S&S had hoped to deliver a balls-to-the-ceiling hang-time experience, but for many riders, the prolonged upside-down sensation and drawing transitions went way too far. Many riders found the sudden flips uncomfortable, and the restrictive restraints only made matters worse. The coaster was even rated one of the worst in the world by Mitch Hawker's famous roller coaster poll. Only 3 Screamin' Squirrel models were ever built: Sequoia Adventure at Italy's Gardaland, Man O' War at China's Mysterious Island, and Afterburner at Russia's Wonder Island, the latter of which was an extremely bizarre larger version of the concept that added lateral turns. Today, only Man O' War is left in operation. Though the Screamin' Squirrel was undeniably ambitious, its unusual saxophonorific track design proved to be too strange and uncomfortable to find widespread success. And these days, it's more of a curiosity than something that's looked back fondly upon. Number 7. The original Intimidator 305 at Virginia's King's Dominion. Though it will soon be renamed and rethemed to Pantherian, the original Intimidator 305 was a tribute to NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt. Built by Intamin, this gigacoaster proved to be a little too intense for many parkgoers upon its opening. With a towering titular height of 305 feet, this coaster came jam-packed with breakneck speeds and heavy G-forces. Coaster enthusiasts and thrill seekers were absolutely ecstatic, but upon its opening, there was a pretty major issue. Immediately after the first drop, riders experienced an intense bank turn to the right. This dramatic moment had G-forces that were so extreme that many riders actually blacked out on it and lost consciousness. Sure, some thrill seekers might consider blackouts to be a grand old time, but most would agree that losing consciousness on a roller coaster is terrifying. Uncoincidentally enough, many of the riders fit the latter, and ridership ended up plummeting. During its opening year, the coaster actually had a lower ridership than the park's relocated floorless coaster Dominator. Soon enough, the park attempted to dial down the intensity, adding trim brakes to slow down the initial descent. But this wasn't going to work in the long run because the trims neutered the excitement of the drop. The next year, King's Dominion opted for a more permanent fix, reprofiling the intense turn to reduce the G-forces. This took the turn from blackout intensity to pretty strong grayout intensity, and thankfully, it continues to operate and satisfy hardcore thrill seekers. Number 6. Top Thrill 2 at Ohio's Cedar Point. After a series of technical difficulties and a tragic injury in 2021, Cedar Point aimed to reimagine their old Top Thrill dragster coaster into something safer and more reliable. In partnership with Italian ride manufacturer Zamperla, this coaster was given a makeover. Its problematic hydraulic launch was replaced with a magnetic swing launch. This feature added a new 400-foot spike to the ride, which passengers would ascend and descend. After months of anticipation, the new ride known as Top Thrill 2 opened to the public on May 4, 2024. The ride received a largely positive response from passengers during its initial week of operation. Many praised the fresh ride experience, intense swing launch, and comfortable restraints. By all indications, it seemed like it was going to have a good run, but Top Thrill 2's new train design proved to be too ambitious. As revealed in El Toro Ryan's video on the coaster, during its initial operation, stress fractures began to develop on the ride's wheel bogies. This required Zamperla to immediately make design adjustments to stabilize the ride. The manufacturer also discovered that the train's chassis was affected, prompting the addition of steel bracing between rows and other reinforcements. The ride was taken offline as engineers monitored stress levels with wiring around the wheel assemblies, aiming to make sure every aspect of the train could withstand the intense forces of the launches. Unfortunately, these adjustments have forced the park to delay Top Thrill 2's reopening until 2025. Park fans were hugely disappointed, with some even criticizing the decision to partner with Zamperla. The company had never built a coaster on this magnitude, and the stats of the ride pushed the limits of their new Lightning train design. In any regard, many would argue that the ambition to try something new led to a slew of disappointed riders. For now, fans eagerly wait the ride's return, and hopefully it will have a good run at the park regardless. Number 5. Maverick, once again at Cedar Point. This particular design flaw was ironed out before it even opened. Initially, Maverick's layout included a heartline roll right after the launch tunnel. However, during testing, engineers quickly realized this element went way too far with its forces. Despite its uncomfortable-looking speed, the roll actually kept riders safe by rotating around their chest level. Nevertheless, it was actually the coaster's trains and not the passengers that bore the brunt of the forces. The rapid, twisting movement placed immense stress on the wheel assemblies, which would have accelerated wear and tear. This could have led to substantial maintenance costs, way more than the park was willing to spend. Faced with this issue, the park decided to replace the heartline roll with a gentler S-curve before the coaster's debut. This preserved the attraction's long-term durability, though it always drums up curiosity to imagine what the inversion could have been like to ride. Amusingly, the original heartline roll track wasn't scrapped. Rather, it was sent to Adena Corporation's property in Mansfield, Ohio. Here it became a minor pilgrimage site for coaster fans looking to check out a piece of Cedar Point's history. But don't book your tickets, because Cedar Point recently cut this piece of history into sections and sold them each for between $300 and $500. Side note, if you manage to score a piece, feel free to comment down below and send me a picture. Number 4. The Flip Flap Railway at New York's Paul Boyton Sea Lion Park, part of Coney Island. Throughout the evolution of roller coaster inversions, shameless plug, few rides are as notorious as Coney Island's Flip Flap Railway. Designed by engineer Lena Beecher, this innovative beast opened in 1895 as the first ever roller coaster with a true inversion meant for a public amusement park. Specifically, it was at Paul Boyton Sea Lion Park, part of the famous Coney Island. However, this early looping design was far from perfect. Unlike the gentle teardrop-shaped loops on modern rides, Flip Flap's loop was a tight circular shape that generated dangerously uneven forces. Riders were subjected to an astounding 12 Gs, more than double the intensity of any modern coaster, and an experience usually reserved for fighter pilots. This brutal force led to complaints of neck injuries, and the ride's uncomfortable experience quickly made it unpopular. Plus, it had limited capacity with tiny two-person cars. In the end, park owners decided that the coaster wasn't worth keeping around, so in less than a decade, the ride was scrapped. Fortunately, it does still make for a fascinating research subject. Number 3. Crystal Beach Cyclone at Ontario, Canada's Crystal Beach. The Cyclone at Crystal Beach is famous for pushing the boundaries of roller coaster intensity to truly extreme levels. So much so that it actually caused a few injuries. Designed by the renowned Harry G. Traver, this wooden coaster variety, known as a safety coaster, premiered in 1927 according to papers at the time. This attraction was truly groundbreaking, with a twisted layout and steel support structure meant to improve safety and resilience. Newspapers at the time even referred to this ride as, quote, entirely safe. Despite this, the ride's relentless, brutal forces quickly earned it a notorious reputation. Riders often exited the Cyclone shaken, nauseous, or even injured. Needless to say, the only thing worse than a one-way ticket to Puke City is being injured along the way. To handle the influx of battered and shaken passengers, the park reportedly stationed a nurse directly at the exit to provide immediate care. Legend has it that a nearby hot dog stand sold splints as well. Maintenance challenges were present too, as the coaster's intense, winding design placed immense stress on its structure. By 1946, these issues, combined with the skyrocketing upkeep costs, led to the ride's closure. However, the Cyclone's legacy didn't end there, as the Philadelphia Toboggan Company actually repurposed parts of its wood and steel for a new, gentler coaster named Comet. Today, the Comet operates at Six Flags Great Escape in Queensbury, New York. Number 2. Do-Dodonpa, Japan's Fuji-Q Highland. Originally opening in 2001 as simply Dodonpa, it broke records with its astonishing acceleration. It rocketed from 0 to 107 miles per hour in just 1.8 seconds. At the time of its opening, it was the world's fastest roller coaster, and it had a faster acceleration than any other coaster ever built. Though the ride was already insane, park officials eventually wanted to make it even crazier. And they did so in 2016 by revamping it to reach a new top speed of 112 miles per hour in just 1.6 seconds. Alongside this upgrade, they replaced the iconic top hat element with a vertical loop to reduce stress on the structure and add a fresh thrill. However, the intensified launch and redesigned track created unforeseen issues and danger. The brutal G-forces generated by the faster launch, combined with the sudden transition into the new loop, led to an alarming number of rider injuries. These injuries started in 2020 and included broken back, chest, and even neck bones. Despite efforts by Fuji-Q and SNS to fix the ride's issues, this high injury rate proved to be too great of a liability. And with no other choice, the park demolished the coaster in 2024. In the end, Do-Dodonpa serves as a cautionary tale of how extreme innovation can sometimes push the limits beyond what's safe. Number 1. Cannon Coaster at New York's Coney Island. Brooklyn's Coney Island is home to many historic thrills, including the famous Cyclone coaster, but none were as outlandish as the Cannon Coaster from the early 1900s. Designed by George Francis Meyer, this ride was supposed to redefine the thrill ride experience. And how would it do this? By sending riders through the barrel of a giant cannon and having them jump a literal gap in the track. I'm not kidding. This idea sounds like something straight out of a cartoon or a Jackass movie. These days, you may wonder what kind of brownies Meyer was eating. Incredibly though, this gap-jumping coaster actually made it to the construction phase and was even tested with sandbags as stand-ins for human riders. The results were not exactly great. While the car did occasionally make it across the gap, it crashed more often than not, proving the concept as dangerously impractical. Yeah, no duh. Soon enough, park officials scrapped the idea and filled in the track gap to allow the ride to operate safely. Sadly, the coaster was destroyed in a raging fire in 1907, and to this day, the Cannon Coaster remains one of the most ambitious ideas in amusement history. And a pretty dumbass idea, too. Now it's time for the comment shoutout program. This is where I take 5 random comments from my previous video and read them out. These comments come from my video on disturbing animatronics. Melissa2087 says, "Love the avocado girls." Yellow Elephant 3747 says, "Once I met this animatronic in, I think Belgium, and it gave me the biggest side eye, one of its eyes fell out. Never been more scared." Miracle Shining says, "I was wondering if Sam was going to make the #1 spot. Just got back from Waldrug this summer. I live 2 hours away from that place too. To visit our favorite T-Rex. I remember as a kid in the 80s thinking Sam was terrifying." F. Uppets Official says, "Woody the Tree makes me wish Distortions did Thomas characters. Because I think that face would look better on a UK steam locomotive than be a rip-off Deku Tree." And Jack TWT says, "Hap the Happy Farm Boy looks like if the annoying orange had a baby with JJ the jet plane." If you want to see your words in my next video, leave a comment down below and it may be selected. Please note though that inflammatory or spam comments will not be read. Thank you all so much, and if you want to support me on Patreon, you can do so once again at the link in the description. Thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, or you can check out my website at themeparkcrazy.com. And I'm on TikTok. This is Theme Park Crazy, and I'll see you all next time.